All right, Trev. So as pretty much everybody knows, last night LeBron became the number one all-time scorer in NBA history for the regular season. This record is not included in playoff points. This is regular season, and we know he passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar by scoring 38 points last night. Just to kind of speak on this, like, how do you view LeBron as a scorer, or how did you view him before this and after him breaking the record? And just what would you have to say about LeBron as a whole, as far as his career and what he's meant to the NBA?
Ooh, uh, man, that's a real good question. And first off, congratulations to LeBron for passing Kareem for the all-time scoring leader in NBA history. It was a pretty big night last night, and it was a
Yeah,
lot
it was
going
crazy.
on. But just congratulations to him, and especially with the career he's had and everything that he has done in the game of basketball, his partnership with the NBA and all that good stuff. But to answer your question, so LeBron James as a scorer, I think he is actually uh, he actually throughout his career he's been underrated as a scorer. I think as he came into the league, he was more of a mid-range, get to the basket kind of guy. People don't really view him as a scorer like MJ or Kevin Durant or maybe even Kyrie Irving or something like scorers that have a lot, a super deep bag and things like that. But I would argue that LeBron has a pretty deep bag with his improvements in different areas. Like he's added the fadeaway to his game, which he actually took to pass Kareem last night to get the all-time scoring record. So
I know
uh,
people want him to do a hook shot.
yeah, some people wanted him to do the hook shot, and he has like of course his patented dunks or in transition he has the move where he like throws it ahead and spins off of you, or just honestly just stepping through his opponents, getting it in the post. He's improved throughout the years for from the 3-point range. I think he has been underrated as a scorer, man. I think he's up there with some of the great scorers, and it just shows his longevity and also his ability to score to continue to score at the rate he does for this long into his career. Now, compared to other scorers like MJ, Kobe, uh, Kevin Durant and stuff like that, I would say I think those players are more polished or more a little bit more, I guess, talented in terms of the score, like the things that they do to score. But I think you can put LeBron up there with them. It just doesn't look the same. It just doesn't look as flashy or stuff like that. But in terms of scoring, I would still take probably those other guys a little bit, maybe give him a little bit of a hair over LeBron. But I mean, LeBron's right up there with him. You can't go wrong with LeBron. I mean, he's
Yeah.
proven it over his career.
hmm Yeah, man, I agree with you there. As far as the skill perspective, well, that might not even be the right word because I feel like LeBron is skilled. But as you mentioned about, that bag and just the arsenal and the way people get their buckets, I think of a guy like Kevin Durant, even like a Kobe. He was very skilled, and Michael Jordan, those type guys. The way that they got their points is a little bit different than LeBron would. LeBron is the guy that would get downhill, let you get to that basket in the area where he shot at a very high percentage. And early on in his career, especially that first tenure with Cleveland, he was actually a very good shot creator, a good pull up shooter in the mid range. And as the game kind of evolved and the older he got, he kind of transitioned. He kind of moved away more from that mid range and stuck with getting to the basket or shooting the three. And I feel like a lot of people may not give him enough credit for how he has been able to find different ways to just continue to be effective offensively. He even added the post game to his arsenal, the older he got. And he never just kind of stayed with the scoring methods that he did, and that just goes to his greatness. So I feel like LeBron is very much underrated as a scorer. I believe Jordan has like the most points per game for a career at like 30, and then LeBron's not that far under with like 27 point. I can't remember
Yeah,
the exact
it's around
number.
27. Yeah, 27,
Yeah,
almost 28 maybe.
but it ranked with like, the top five people on a point per game basis.
Yep.
And he's been doing it for this long, coming in the league as a 19-year-old. That's crazy. I know when I was a 19-year-old, just that hype and pressure that he came into the league with, he kind of, just hit the ground running. So I really feel like as a scorer, he's been underrated, especially with all the other ways he's affected the game as far as being, top four in assists. I'm not exactly sure where he would rank in like rebounds and stuff. I'm sure he's collected a lot of those too. So, just the fact of like what he is as a total basketball player, all around guy, the fact that he can become number one and be top four in assists just really shows how special he was as a player and how much we need to acknowledge him while he's here and the fact that he's doing it this far into his career. And just to speak to the atmosphere of the game, it really reminded me of that game after Kobe had passed. Um, it kind of reminded me with the result how it played out too, but you could just tell like it was building up, like with that black suit, all black suit he came in with. It meant business for LeBron. 36 points is not easy. So I have some personal questions myself. Is he gonna get it? But with the way everything was set up, the stars that came out, the packed arena, they had the countdown on the screen the whole game. You just knew LeBron was gonna try his best to get it, and you could tell early on he was going for it. And when LeBron is in those big moments, I feel like he's one to really, live for those moments and try to seize it. So he definitely didn't disappoint, me as a LeBron fan. I was just glad to see him kind of get that over with. You could see the emotion coming down his face and with the tears and his family being there. So, and to do it on a big stage for a historic franchise like that was something to see. So I just want to congratulate LeBron for what he's done, everything he's meant to the game of basketball, the fans like me. Very appreciative of what he's done so far and what he'll continue to do. Because there ain't no telling when he's gonna stop.
Yeah, he's definitely I don't even know where his record is going to end. He might he's definitely going to get 40K,
Yeah,
especially if he keeps going at this rate, and who knows where it'll stop. But it's it was a great moment, a great accomplishment, and uh it's just it was just special to watch. So happy
yeah.
for him, man. Happy for him.
There was a viral tweet circling around from 8 years ago. You probably saw it. I saw it on Instagram. Bleacher Report or somebody posted it.
I
A
know.
guy,
Yeah.
yeah, 8 years ago said,
When
"I
he
can't
turned
wait
30.
for." Yeah, he was 30 years old, and he said, "I can't wait for this to end. It's finally about to come to an end." Those aren't the exact words. He used some explicit words actually, and that was 8 years ago, talking about LeBron's about to slow down, kind of how similar how Matt Kellerman did with that Tom Brady cliff. And 8 years later, like LeBron has just kept pushing, and he's just really lived and exceeded the expectation people have for him. And I just really respect what he's done. Now, you can argue, who's the GOAT, definitive GOAT. I like to acknowledge everybody. They're all GOATs. They all had different eras. They all meant so much to the game. Mount Rushmore, however you want to slice it. He's definitely one of them. Whatever you want to call it, he's one of those guys. So,
Yeah.
um, he's just meant a lot to the game, and he's still going. So you got to put some respect on that.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I don't like to get into that a whole bunch either. I mean, it none of the players that uh we talk about in the GOAT conversation really has played against each other. And it's just anybody can make a case for those guys. I think those guys are in a tier of their own. And at that point, you're really just splitting hairs. So it's nothing really definitive. It's like barbershop talk. And honestly, it
Yeah.
gets old. And, people that have their mind made up, you really ain't gonna change their mind. You know what I mean? And
Mm,
there's no way to really change it because there's nothing definitive. But hey,
definitely.
it is what it is. But also shout out to Kareem for holding the record for what, like 38 years, I think it was, something like
I
that.
believe so.
Yeah.
That's another
So
crazy thing.
yeah,
That whole 38 thing, 38 years since the Kareem held the record for 38 years. Obviously, LeBron's 38. Obviously, he scored. He's now after that game was at 38,388 points. It was the 38th day of 2023, and Kareem even said LeBron was born the same year that Kareem broke the record. So it was kind of poetic in that sense. So
yeah,
it
that's
was
pretty
it was
cool.
meant to happen that night. I'm sure LeBron knew some of that, so it was
He
meant to
probably
happen.
did. He
Yeah,
probably did, knowing him. But yeah, no, that's amazing, man. So we have a new scoring champ, scoring leader in all time in the history of the NBA. So uh congratulations to LeBron, man.